Hey guys, on this episode of the GenX Vault, Rob and I are going to talk about our trip to Batuu, the Disney geek Star Wars paradise.
And we're going to have show and tell.
And of course, we're going to open the box of mystery. All right.
All right.
Hey guys, welcome to the GenX Vault. I am Chris Mitchell.
Rob Kennedy.
And this week, we're going to talk about a few things for you. First of all, we're going to talk about Rob and I did a trip to Batuu last February, wasn't it?
Last February. Yep.
It was a year ago. Oh man, has it been
almost a year? Yep.
Oh,
in a few days, it'll be a year.
That's hard to believe. That's really hard to believe. What day did we go?
We went up there on the 21st, and we were actually in Batuu on the 22nd.
Okay, yeah, because we went that night before.
Right.
That's right. And we're going to talk about our trip to Batuu. We're also going to, share. We have show and tell again this week, and then open the box of mystery.
Yes.
But the cool thing is I got to go ahead and throw this out here. I have to throw a big apology. Rob and I shot a really good Christmas episode, and it was one that I was waiting all year to do. And the funny thing is as we shot it, we normally record all the audio with the Super 55. Well, when I plugged it into my laptop, I forgot to change the settings of the audio. So the only audio I had was the little bitty MacBook microphone picking up from halfway across the room. So we couldn't use it. It looked incredible. Matter of fact, it looked so good. I finally got the lighting and stuff right like it looks right now. I reset the studio up and matched the lighting, got the camera setting, everything just to achieve that. I even wore the same red shirt today, to be honest with you. I figure we're saving it, what I mean? Saving it for next Christmas. Well. That's right. But let's see. But yeah, Rob and I are going to talk about our trip to Batuu.
Batuu, yes.
That was cool.
And being that we've had about 2 months off now, you'll be pleasantly surprised to learn that we put we used all of that time to do absolutely no research for this episode. So we put it together this morning, and we'll see what happens.
That's right. Rob put his portion together completely. I'll fly by night on this.
Well, first a little backstory. Christmas of 2019. And we're actually filming this episode today on Valentine's Day.
Happy, or as I like to call it, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, why not?
Because what time of year is it?
Yep.
Valentine's Day. That's right, Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day.
So it's appropriate that we'll talk about our one and only bromance trip, where we actually left the state together. That's our only overnight trip together.
I guess so. Yeah, it makes sense.
And such.
After the pandemic, we're going to have to do another one.
Yeah. So we went. So and this was so like I said, it's Christmas 2019. Chris had been to Batuu with his family several months before.
October.
Yeah. Okay, 2 months before. So it was Christmas 2019. We had come over here. My family had come over here. We were exchanging presents and all this. And you would think Chris was like, and this was a surprise. Chris, the trip to Batuu, or the trip to Disney, was Chris's gift to me. So the simple thing would have been for him to say, Rob, you're a really good friend. We're going to enjoy this greatly. I said, I've already got the tickets taken care of. I've got a place for us to stay. Got some connections there. You and I are going to go to Batuu over a weekend. And I would have said, no, Chris, that's too much. And finally, everybody talked me into it. But Chris hardly ever does anything the easy way. So everybody exchanges their presents, and then Chris is like, give me mine. He turns on the TV, and there's like this.
I made it seem like we're going to be, this is some background Christmas music.
Right. Yeah, background Christmas music. And then like all of a sudden there's radio static, noise coming across, and then there's this trip. There's this guy talking. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I knew he was up to something because Chris gets this grin on his face when he's planning something. But so I was just waiting to see what was going to happen, and so that happens. And then Chris brings out a box, and I thought, ooh, I like this box, but I didn't get the box.
He didn't get the box.
He opens it up, and there's just stuff in there, and inside of there, I brought it.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you brought some stuff.
This is how much of a jerk Chris is.
Or how awesome I am.
Yeah. So Chris puts a lot of time and effort, and it is appreciated, even as much as I'm grumbling about it. And he gives me this note that's written in, what is it,
Arabesh.
Arabesh.
The font Arabesh.
The Star Wars font. He gives that to me, and I'm like, damn it. I'm gonna have to translate this. I just know it.
That's right.
And he's like, and I made you a translation thing. Yeah, and look, there are a lot of words. It's not like a 4-word sentence to translate. We're going to Disney. No, it's a whole thing, and I have to translate it.
But even before this, the TV show was a transmission. Remember, from Batuu. So it was a transmission that they were being assaulted.
And here's the thing. Here's where I ended up messing up all of Chris's plans somewhat, because I was aware of Galaxy's Edge. I was aware that he'd went to Galaxy's Edge. I had heard the term Batuu, but I had not paid it enough attention to make that association just off the top of my head. You know. So Chris gives me this long 5,000 word paper translate,
60 words,
and this he makes this nice little translations key, and it is nice, but it's also the symbols are very, very some of them are very, very similar, and all this. So he's like, "You got to go translate it." I was like, "Can't you just tell me?" And he's like, "No, you got to go translate it." And everybody's like, "Yeah, Rob, you got to go translate it."
Everybody knew but you.
So I go over to his kitchen table and I sit down at it and I start this long, arduous task of translating the 5,000 word letter he's written out. So while everybody else is sitting in the den, laughing it up, having a good time, I'm in the kitchen doing a freaking homework assignment, ticked off to no end, because I'm figuring it's going to be something good because Chris is a good gift giver. But I'm just like, I hate this, and but so anyway, so like 3 hours later,
I'm drinking in the living room. Meanwhile,
3 hours later,
30 minutes later,
I finally get it translated, and all the time everybody's coming up to me going, "Are you done yet?" I'm like, "Get the freak out! I'm working on this."
Oh, you saved your translation?
Yeah,
good.
So the 5,000 word letter is this, and at this point, I'm my mind is perplexed from Christmas Eve or week after Christmas, whenever we did it.
Usually did a week after.
And translating all this stuff and everything else. It says, urgent plea from the resistance. Our Sienna Chas utility transport, I actually misspelled that word because, like I said, some thing, has crashed on a planet in the Trilon sector with 3 suns. Due to it, not the Trilon sector with 2 suns. That would be the Bylon sector.
Batuu has 3 suns.
That's not it. I know, but I was making a joke about try and buy.
Bylon.
Yeah. I'm a dad. Due to a cabin fire and a crash landing, our star charts are broken and we cannot finish the supply drop. If you have found this, please take these 2 remaining Spira. To the smuggler... Spira. To the smuggler Crimacella. I'm Crim Mitchell. Out of all the names you could ever give,
in George Lucas's fashion, where he comes up with crappy names for people, I'm like, I'm gonna make this crappy. So Crimacella.
Sounds like a stripper stage name.
I would go by Crimacella.
He will know what to do. All resistance help is needed. Please, it is all we have. Okay. And so I finished this, and like everybody in the room is looking at me. And it's at this point I realize they all know what he's done. And from this, I'm supposed to have the ding. We're going to Batuu, but I don't. I'm just befuddled because I spent an hour to 5 hours translating this 10,000 page Word document. And Chris is looking at me all expectantly. Melinda's looking at me all expectantly, and I know they're wanting something from me, and I want to give it to them. I just don't know what they want. And they want acknowledgement that I realize what's going on, and I do not.
But he didn't. He didn't.
And finally, Melinda comes over to me and says, "Chris is taking you to Disney." And I'm like, "No." And because I'm like, that's too much. I don't want that. I can't. That's like I got you like a gift card to Fandango or something,
which I'm still using because we haven't been able to go to the
theater. yeah. I got him a Fandango gift card with
to the movie theaters
3 months before the pandemic hit.
Right.
So I'm like, no, this is too much and all that. So finally, Linda gets me to agree, and we decided when we agreed to go. And so like I said, I did feel bad not able to put 2 and 2 together and finish off his match because he did go to a lot of work.
A lot of work.
And,
actually, that took me. You think you did spend a lot of time putting all that together, burning the edges.
Yep.
I mean,
because we'll do a close up of this, but
that's right.
Went to a lot of things, and he gave, and you had there was that journal that you burned.
You didn't bring that with you?
No, I left it. I left it at the house because I had a lot of stuff here.
We'll have to bring it.
And those two little
Spira.
Yeah,
the Spira.
Yeah, okay, that's the money.
The currency on Batuu is called a Spira.
Yeah.
So that's what they spend on Batuu. That's what it's called.
But the burning into the leather created a smell.
I know, it's carbon.
And it smelled for a week or two.
Carbon scoring. That's what happens. It was carbon scoring.
And, so we went to Batuu, and as luck would have it, or not luck really, just as ironically, it turned out like I said, we drove there on Friday, and we went to the park on Saturday, the 22nd, which was actually my birthday.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I spent my birthday not with my family, but with Chris in
the Millennium friggin' Falcon.
Yeah, Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
and not only and we were there. Like, think about this, folks. We were there February 22nd, 2020 at Disney.
I mean, it was
wall to wall people from all over the world.
2 weeks.
What happened a month later?
Oh, it shut down.
Shut down.
We got lucky that A, we didn't get sick or anything like that, but also B, that we got there and we got to experience it together before everybody else did. And the funny thing was, we could not have had more perfect weather. It was a little cool in the morning because it was February, but then once noon rolls around, it is nice and warm and it feels good.
Because I was on that day, I actually layered. In the South, you rarely layer,
right?
But I wore a T-shirt, a long sleeve button up, and I had my vest,
right,
in honor of Han Solo because it looked kind of smugly,
right.
And during the course of the day, I took the vest off, and then I took the button up shirt off. And toward the end of the day, I put the button-up shirt back on and the vest. So I made a complete transition thing. But it was really cool. Like I said, if you're a big Star Wars fan, you need to get down there at some point.
Yeah. Oh God.
Just seeing just so much stuff as from your childhood. Seeing the Millennium Falcon was probably the highlight. It is so cool, and I think the coolest part, we were waiting on the ride. We were going through the long and winding line, and so the cool thing they've done with Batuu, because anybody who's gone to Disney Park and you've waited in a long line, it's just an arduous process.
It is.
I mean, it's just boring and all that, but
there it's not.
No,
it's not,
because they have built the walkways you go through in line. They've got all this stuff for you to look at and take pictures of and interact with.
Oh yeah.
And because they've got stuff, because it's literally, if you don't know, it's literally based on a spaceport. Mm-hmm. What an actual spaceport would look like in a Star Wars world.
And one thing, let me jump in on there. The reason why, when I'd gone in October, I learned about Batuu, and it was one of the only theme parks I've ever been to where I felt when you walk in, the way they've got, when you walk in the corridor, and I explained this to Rob going in, Disney's Imagineers do such a good job of, you walk out of the 1920s, 30s of Hollywood in the Muppet Land, but they do such a good job of changing the lighting and the visuals and how the hallway breaks down. Not only does your mind, and even the floor changes in 3 stages. Yeah. So not only does your visuals, you start transforming into this land. Audio wise, you get there and all of a sudden you're hearing exotic creatures and you're hearing spaceships taking off. Yep. And you absolutely, there is nothing about being in that park that you feel like you're in Disney
It's almost like a fade in.
It is.
From the movie.
It is.
Because you don't, all of a sudden, you're completely in Batuu. You don't hear other parts of the park. You don't see other parts of the park.
Nope.
It's all, and it's committed 100%.
Disney.
I mean, the only thing that there to drag you out of it, other than people walking around with their screaming kids wearing Mickey Mouse T-shirts, is exit signs.
Right,
and they're legally bound by that.
But even the fire hydrants, they've made age, and they use they didn't use traditional style.
The trash cans.
Yeah, the trash. Everything's aged. In that transition, one thing I was going to talk about, walking from the Muppet area into the old Hollywood into the Disney stuff, and we went to the Florida one, by the way, in Florida, and to make it clear, I was able to get us hotel rooms
Yes.
for a song because
Nice hotel.
I mean, a nice hotel for a song.
Probably the nicest hotel I've ever stayed in.
Well,
the biggest one anyway.
And my
the biggest room.
My cousin Landy, thank you, Landy, for
Landy's cool.
doing that. Thank you for hooking us up with that, and he was really cool. He's part of the Lowe's property down there, and he could get us not far at all. So we stayed on the Universal property, which is beautiful if you're able to stay there, and then you could even go to Disney, even if you're staying at Universal. Well worth it
through the magic of Uber.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. And the cool thing is that when you get to that park, it was the first amusement park I've ever gone to, and I truly felt like I was in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you didn't feel like you're in Disney World at all.
Yeah.
Little details, and I'm gonna show up pictures as I talk about it. But one of my favorite things is when you go through the Black Spire Outpost, when you go through the trading post and where the market is.
Yeah.
And you see like where little shops are set up. They're literally set up like you would see them in a place on a planet. So you don't see the commercialization of things. Like there's an old Astromech droid in the corner that
think
they're
of
using
it, think
for
of
a
it
grill.
as a market.
Yeah.
The old markets like you see especially in old period pieces where everybody the vendors have their shop set up.
Yeah.
And they're willing to sell.
They could shoot an episode of Mandalorian there or any show they wanted to, and it would be 100% believable. They wouldn't even have to change anything.
So they're selling you. I mean, they're selling you collectibles and such, but it's still done in a way that it tries not to break the theme of the park.
And I don't know how much this is going to be. I've heard rumors and stuff like that, but I think it would be well worth it as any Star Wars fan. If you're a Star Wars fan at all, go. You got to go. Mm-hmm. But when they come up with that new ship experience, when they come up with that new spaceship experience, I think that's going to be you could literally go there, experience the ship, go to Batuu. You never see any other part of the park.
Yeah.
And the way that they handle that, and I'm not gonna do any spoilers or anything like that, but like if you go on Smuggler's Run or if you go on the Rise of the Resistance, which Rob and I were able to go when we went, it wasn't open when I went the first time, so I was really looking forward to it. That ride was so convincing of what you did. When you left, when your ship took off, you saw the exact part of the park that you were at, that you were just at, as you left. The same way when you crashed. You saw where you crashed and you walked back in that park. And they did such a good job. I mean, and when, as a kid, you always want to walk and you want to be on a Star Destroyer. Yeah. And Rob and I got that experience, to see a garrison of stormtroopers and TIE fighters hanging on a wall in a Star Destroyer hangar.
Life-size TIE fighters.
It was amazing.
It is. And they, and now if you're going for right now, the attraction of the Batuu theme park is the park itself. Because there's only 2 rides right now.
Right.
There's Smuggler's Run.
That's right.
And there's the Resistance ride.
Right, which was
unbelievable. And both are really cool. For me, the Smuggler's Run hit closer to the childhood dream of being aboard the Falcon.
And you got to be the pilot, didn't you?
Yep. I was the pilot.
I made sure of that.
But the cool thing, like I said, going back to walking through the waiting in line to get into Smuggler's Run and you're walking through, because you look at all the Disney videos and there's no line and everything. That ain't true. But but like I said, there's so much. They've got so much stuff to look at and built in as you walk through there, to take pictures of and talk about. But at some point, you're actually behind the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
and you're behind it at the top level with it, so you're looking out onto it.
Right.
And so we're standing there, and we're looking at the Falcon. I'm, taking pictures of it, and we're talking. And all of a sudden, you start hearing this noise, this like little faint whining type noise, and it gets louder and louder. And you look, and when you turn around, and you look at the Falcon. All of a sudden, you notice the engines are glowing.
Oh, it's killer.
Are starting to glow blue.
It's killer.
And the sound's getting louder, and they're getting brighter. And you realize they're firing the Falcon.
Oh yeah, they're getting ready to.
And then not only that, they even have all this. And then all of a sudden, they hit you with a gust of wind, which is the blowback from the engines. And I thought that was a really nice touch. And then you go on a little bit further, and you get you're in the Falcon's main entertainment area, and you get to sit at the Jajaric table.
All right.
Take a picture there and things like that. So, and then you finally get into the Falcon and sit in the cockpit, and it takes you through
and I can't say the first time that I think I may have even mentioned this at one point on the show. I've told this to everybody. The first time I went, when I went into the Den of Antiquities, which you and I went, to.
That's cool too.
But when I went in there, usually when you go to a Disney park, you see a lot of kids pulling moms and dads around, and the kids are pulling and they're doing this. When you go to the Den of Antiquities, and it has all the lightsabers displayed for sale, which I did get one. You see grown men pushing kids out of the way to get to that, because they wanted that for 35 years. It's just amazing to see that.
And the Den of Antiquities, there's a line for it too, because they only let a certain number of people in there.
Right.
To keep it, otherwise you couldn't move in there, because there is so much in there to look at and take pictures of as well.
Oh, it's
on the walls.
Yeah, and I did.
In addition to the stuff that is on for sale, and you finally get to see what a full Sarlacc looks like.
That's right. It shows you the full body of a Sarlacc, so you get an idea.
That it's a really cool place, but it's cool because they don't let. It is a long waiting line, but they don't let everybody in there at once. So someone has to leave before they let someone else in.
That's right.
Which keeps you from you're able to relax and peruse.
Yep.
Thoroughly.
That's right.
All the stuff that's in there, and they'll let you hold all the lightsabers and try them out.
It's killer. Yeah, it's killer. And I asked the lady that was working there. I said, Rob and I waited 90 minutes to get into the line, and I asked the lady. So it was obviously, you can imagine how long that line is. And the lightsaber, they're fairly priced. I mean, I think
they're very reasonably priced.
Yeah, because they're screen accurate. Yeah. About $135. That's fair for what you get. It's machined aluminum. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
So I asked the lady that was working there behind the counter. I said, how many people? How many of these do you sell a day? And she looks at me and she just goes, a lot. and because they kept pulling them out the back and handing me, kept pulling out the back and handing to guys, and they were packing them up left and right as we go. But I asked her. And I said, God, we waited 90 minutes. That was only one part of the day. And she said, most people are in line to buy something. And it's just unbelievable to think about that.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. So I feel bad for Disney that they've had to.
And you can buy blades for them.
Yeah. And I felt bad for Disney that they've had to put their, shut down and whatnot. But.
I wonder if that's hurt park sabers.
Maybe.
Because now
you can get it.
I mean, why pay park sabers $300?
Well,
when you could, for something that looks kind of like a authentic lightsaber.
But they would also customize it too.
Yeah.
They can do customs where, actually, if you think about it, the prequels and the sequels really opened park sabers up more.
Yeah.
Because it allowed them to have more, they had that design. They may have had that design, similar design first, so it allowed them to say, no, the Star Wars galaxy is way bigger than just Luke's.
Well, park saber is very talented. They do push the edge with making hilts that are very, very similar.
Part of the reason they can get by with the Graflex one is because that was simply a camera flash.
Yeah.
They can. That's not really a trademarkable item. And they I don't know if they had to go against the suit, but clearly they can call them sabers because a saber is just a sword.
Saber
it's not a trademark name, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah. But I think that our experience as we talk about it, and while we're talking, I'm going to be throwing up the photos that I took for it. So I took a lot of photos. Matter of fact, if you look at my 2019 photos. They're regular photos until October rolls around. Then there's 1,000 extra photos.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. I took less when Rob and I were there because I didn't have to, but it was it's so immersive. It is so, everybody there is just, they do a lot in character, which is really cool. Yeah. You got, you saw Kylo Ren and the Stormtroopers walking around.
Yeah.
There's several life-size, ships throughout the park. Yeah. And of course, the greatest being the A-Wing was there.
A lot of droids that you'll recognize. Just a lot of, and it is Disney, and they do a lot for kids too. They have they have a resistance fighter come through, and she will round up kids to help her on a mission and stuff like that. So it's
it's really cool.
It's a lot of fun. Now, like I said, it is the Resistance. You're not going to see Darth Vader. Right. You're not going to see OT stormtroopers.
Right.
You're going to see it's from the new movie. It's all geared toward the new movies. And would I like to see the same thing done but in Tatooine colors? Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah,
it's really good. Yeah.
And the cool thing is, I was telling Rob this before we went. What's cool is unlike if you go to the old Disney park, which in October of that year of 2019 I did, it was really to see It's a Small World, which was their oldest ride, and you had literally like plywood cutouts doing this back and forth. Yeah, they had some animatronics, but you also had some plywood cutouts. That were plywood. And it was interesting to see what they did then and what they could do back then, which was still amazing. And what they did now, even if you went to like river country and all that, it was almost comical the way that they made the logs look because they look more cartoony. And some of that was probably a stylistic choice, but when you went to Batuu, what was really cool about it is some of the stuff that was supposed to be stone was stone.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that was supposed to be steel was steel.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't all just fiberglass, and it wasn't all just they really did a good job of making it look like it was worn and and real.
Yeah. You can go and you can spend a day there.
Oh, easily.
Walk around. I mean, if you're a fan,
I've spent 2.
And it's but it's because it's incredibly well done. If you are a Star Wars fan, then I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Nope.
If you make a trip there to check it out.
And also the food is better in that park than any other Disney park.
Yeah, the food was good.
Did you get the Ronto wrap as well? I think I told you about that.
I did for breakfast that morning.
Yeah, and it's so good because they got a Ronto breakfast version, and then I get the Ronto wrap, which is basically a pita wrap with an interesting sausage in it, and so everything is truly named. And what I did just to make it authentic every time I went was, if you go to a park like that, I knew that I was going to at least spend $100, so I bought the gift card, which was the Spira, which is the metal Star Wars currency. And then I bought everything I needed with the food or the T-shirts or whatever, with that, because that way I've got a free, a free collectible at the end of the day, which is kind of cool,
I know when we ate in whatever that place was called, there, I was so disappointed. My ticket number was 1137.
Oh, so close.
Yeah. I was one away from having ticket number 1138.
That's pretty. I forgot about that. Man, we should have ordered.
And the lady who ordered behind me, I tried to explain to her the significance of her ticket order, and she was like, "Okay."
Didn't care.
It's like I'm just here with my grandchildren.
Shut up. Well, it's funny. Now, what Rob did not tell you was in that box he has that was the true start of the impetus of the box mystery right there. But because it kept you searching for a long time. But in that box, he had the book with all the cool parchment in it and all the symbols and all that, which I actually went through and took the time to put that part of the galaxy and the galaxy map in there.
Oh yeah.
But also, I 3D printed him money.
Yeah.
So I 3D printed him some.
Yeah.
Did you bring that?
I forgot to bring that.
Yeah, I'll show you some of that. But I actually 3D printed him some money that he could actually, so that was the spirit that they sent. And it was a unique one. And in it said, Batuu. I had everything.
Honestly, I should have been able to look at this and just know right off the bat exactly what was going on. It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
I'm just slow. Very slow.
And some of it was written in the language of the bounty hunter. I don't think it's not Huttese, it's something else, but whatever that was.
It's going to be interesting to see what Disney does to try to incorporate the Mandalorian into their theme parks.
Why not? Baby Yoda is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because you're talking about 2 different time periods between the Resistance and the Mandalorian.
But there's no reason that.
But the Mandalorian has hit so big that they've got to get in there somewhere.
He could travel there.
Well, I think honestly, there's some land behind all that.
Oh yeah,
Disney's going to be developing that. Once they start making money again, they're going to start developing that.
Yeah, you take it's a galaxy. So whatever they do, whether it's going to be Boba Fett's story, whether it's going to be Rise of the Resistance, Rise of the Resistance or Mando's story, either way, it's going to be part of it. Yep. There's no way they wouldn't. They're literally leaving money on the table if they do that.
Oh yeah, no, they won't. They
got to do it.
Disney's known how to do one thing for a long time, and that's make profit off of their IPs.
Off their IPs, and they can.
Yeah, so they're going to.
Yeah, cool. All right, so that's our trip to Batuu. Matter of fact, I actually did something the first time I went there, right before I gave you all that gift. I was in the middle of transferring all of my domain names that I'd purchased previously, and I own BatuResistance.com. I own both spellings of Batuu, Resistance.com. Yeah. So because there's Batuu with 2 T's and 2 U's, and there's one with 1 T and 2 U's. I've seen it both ways. I don't know which one is screen accurate. But anyway. But anyway, so if I haven't done anything with those sites yet, but if I'm probably going to do something one day and chronicle them or something. That'd be kind of cool. All right, so that was our trip to Batuu.
It's time for show and tell, boys and girls.
All right, man. You're gonna start us out this week with short tale.
Keeping with the theme of our trip to Batuu, I had two things in mind when I went to Batuu when I found out we were going, and one, I wanted a Count Dooku lightsaber hilt, and two, I wanted to do the Build-A-Droid thing because I'd watched it online and I'd watched enough of the videos and I knew exactly which droid I wanted to make and all that. And like I said, the other thing I really wanted was the Count Dooku lightsaber because even though I knew it wasn't in the initial one, I felt surely they would have one out there. But I was terribly disappointed. Count Dooku got no love, and they, as of yet, do not sell his lightsaber hilt.
They still don't sell his?
And they still don't sell his lightsaber hilt. So it's still, I mean, I toyed with buying some of the others, but I thought, no, I really just want the Count. I don't know what it is about the Count Dooku hilt, but I just really like it. So I didn't get that, but I did pick up some other things. I'm actually surprised at how little I actually bought.
Yeah.
I expected to buy a lot more, but I did. But the things I did get, I really, really like. Two of the things I got, I actually got several of these, but I really like it because Chris showed me his that he brought back from Batuu, and I thought it was just the coolest thing. It's just a geeky little thing that is just simple but it's just so cool. It is the thermal detonator Coke bottles that they sell. I just think these are the most clever things in the world because, like I said, not only are you getting a Coke for the low price of $6, you're getting a thermal detonator. And quick story for those of you who hadn't heard, when it first opened, people bought these as souvenirs and went to fly back home, and they would not let them take them on the plane.
It doesn't even look like a daggone.
They wouldn't. There was a big news story about it. They would not let them take them on the plane.
But it would be for the liquid purposes, not the.
I don't know. I think think the way it's shaped has something to do with it.
Yeah, that's right.
But I bought several of these, and at some point I'm going to paint one black. Just maybe put some lines in it and just make my own, or paint it silver and black or something. I'm just going to, get the Coca-Cola off of it.
And even the Coke font is an Orabesh, which is amazing. Yeah.
And these I thought these were very cool. And I was very excited to get those. That was on my list of things to get as well.
Yeah, those are cool. I'd shown him mine.
Something else I found in the Den of Iniquities, just looking around. I'll give everybody 5 seconds to figure out what this is.
I'm about to say, seeing what that is.
We'll give everybody 5 seconds to figure out what this is. 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is Luke's lamp that Yoda stole, and R2 tried to get back.
Such a weird lamp
from him. Well, it makes sense. One, it can be a flashlight, right. But two, it truly is a lamp. You set it on something, and
lights up.
And actually, in the dark, it's actually a lot brighter than it appears here. But I just thought it was a neat thing. It was reasonably priced. I don't remember how much it was, but it really wasn't.
But don't you think? Much. Isn't that that's such an abstract thing?
Yeah.
To keep and to sell in a theme park, because I mean, yes, I do recognize it, and this is heavy, by the way. This is like
it's real.
It's a hoss.
Well, and if, like I said, this is cool for a number of reasons. One, it is an exact replica of the tug of war item between R2 and Yoda. And two, it is an actually working flashlight.
But now that you mention it, they had to have a design that R2 could try to pull with the clamp, so that makes sense that he could hang on to something.
Well, that too, and like I said, and this was meant not just as a flashlight to use, but camp also light. as a camp light. Yeah, camp light. Yeah. And third, it also fits in if you're making a diorama. I mean, this is a very Star Wars looking thing to stick in the background.
Yeah, well, you can get
your diorama if you want. So it almost has a moisture evaporator
vibe
kind of look to it.
It does.
And such. But I thought that was neat. Didn't plan to buy this, but I saw it and I liked it, so I did.
You remember how much that was?
I want to say it's probably in the $25 to $30 range.
And for what it is.
And for Batuu at Disney, that's actually on the cheaper side.
Yeah,
because if you're going to go there and you're looking to get things, you're going to need to spend a little cash.
That's right.
Another thing I bought, and Chris and I walked to one of the little kiosk vendors that was there, and I found Han Solo's dice. I actually bought these for JT, and I borrowed them back. I wish now I had gotten me a set because they're just really cool.
They're cool.
And I remember Chris was talking to the girl who was stocking them, and he says, "Do you sell a lot of these?" She says, "This is all I've done all day.
That's all
Is
she's
restock the shelves
all she's done.
with Han Solo's dice."
Yeah, she literally was taking.
And this is
them out
like
of the box.
This is like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's right, and she was taking them out of the box, hanging them up.
Mm-hmm.
Customers taking them, and then bam, 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 bam.
Because and these were only like $15,
and those are nice and heavy, too, like brass.
These are only $15, so they were
money well spent.
That's a good souvenir for. This is about the cheapest thing you could get, other than the $6 cokes.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Yeah. That's cool.
And then the one thing I was excited about, because and we waited to the end of the day, and I was giving Chris grief. He was like, "We'll get it at the end of the day," and I was like, "Because everybody was walking by with one." I was like, "Yep, they just sold the last one. I'm not going to get one."
He kept worried about they were going to sell the last robot he wanted. We walk in, there's 8 million of them in there.
Yeah. This is super cool. This is basically Disney doing Build-A-Bear.
Yep.
Exactly.
What's his name?
This is B1U3.
B1U3.
Mr. Blue.
He named him that the moment he got him.
Mr. Blue, B1U3. Write it out and you'll see how clever I really am. Yeah. But I wanted one in these colors, exactly, because like I said, this I'd actually planned out ahead of time. I know it worked out. It really had nothing to do with Georgia Southern. Mm-hmm. I just wanted these colors. Blue's my favorite color.
Blue and white.
Yeah. And I wanted the R5 shape. See, R5. I wanted that. I've always had an affinity for R5 because I always felt like he was the forgotten droid, and so I wanted, I knew everybody's going to do R2 shaped astromech droids. Everybody's going to do, and I just really wanted this one for the first one. Probably when I go back, I'm probably going to get a BB unit
because they roll.
But this is a cool thing. One, it's a cool collectible. Two, you do get to go through. If you've watched the videos, you've seen the conveyor belt, and you get all the stuff. I think it's $100.
I think
you bought something like that.
Yeah,
I think it's 120 to get one. I will say this: it's like I said, it's like Build-A-Bear. So they try to sell you all kinds of accessories. You can buy a chip that'll give it 15 more different beeps. You can, and I saw so many people who paid $20 or $30 for this little front baby carrier thing that you walk around with them.
I didn't know that.
Don't get that unless you just really, really want it. Because there's that extra card, the 15 beeps. You know how many times you're going to actually beep it after you leave Disney? Very, very few. But he does beep. Mm-hmm. And he comes with several. He gets a little mad, yeah. They're very fun to terrorize your dog with. He turns his head. He moves back and forth. He moves forward and backwards. Once you learn him, you can.
Hey, buddy. That's fine. Go ahead. I'll catch you.
He will
that way.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so this is actually I kind of made up for not getting the Dooku saber. I do like this. It's a good conversation piece when people come over. I think the fact that he turns his head and does the beeping is just a really cool touch. I really like this. It's unique. You get to, like I said, you get to create it. It's fun to do it. Even if you're a 47-year-old guy sitting up there elbowing kids out of the way.
That's right.
I want this leg.
Give me that leg, kid.
And one thing I will say, and this is me getting picky, thinking too much about Star Wars. There's absolutely no reason R2 units can't talk. Astromech droids
of course
can't
not.
talk.
Of course not.
And regular.
Of course not.
And none.
It's technology. They've got the technology. It's not like 3PO's mouth moves. It's not like he has an actual voice box. Yeah.
So BB-8, R2, all those, they should be able to talk.
They should be able to talk. But it is weird that some humans seem to understand them pretty good.
Like Ray understands everything.
Everything BB says. Yeah.
And Luke originally doesn't, but I think he learns to, because like in Empire when they're flying to Dagobah after Hoth, you notice he keeps looking at a translator on his dash.
They said, no, we're going to go to the Dagobah system. Yeah. But you know what's funny is it's true. Ray understands everything BB-8 says, but Ron Johnson doesn't understand anything about Star Wars. It's funny.
I knew you were going to bring it back around that side.
I hate Ron Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's an idiot.
But anyway, that's Mr. Blue. But there's one more thing I got. I don't know.
Put him right in front of the mic, man. He can't block the mic. Blue. Come on, Blue.
He thought it was 21B. He was like, are you going to do that to me?
That's right. He thought it was his face. That is the mic they use for 21B Medical Droid.
Yeah.
I will. That's part of the reason.
So we'll put Mr. Blue down there. The last thing I bought for a very practical reason. Because like I said, I layered up. Practical. Had to.
Okay.
I layered up. And so we're there early. We get there. I think we left the hotel about 6 that morning or something.
Had to get there.
Got there right as we walked in. And at the time, remember, we had to. You got on your phone and reserved us a time.
You had to get
right off the bat.
If you get there,
yeah.
I walked in. We walked in the park, and I didn't know this for the first time because it was a little different. But the moment we get there, I walk in. It was weird. It was like a scene out of a Hitchcock movie.
Yeah. Like
a meteor's about to hit, and everybody's getting the memo on their phone, and everybody, literally thousands of people in the park are doing this. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so I called one of the park people, like, what are they doing? And she goes, oh, they're about to get the ride for Galaxy's Edge. I went, oh, crap. And so I was like, how do I do this? So she walked me through it, and I waited. And Rob and I hit it immediately, and I think our ride time was like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 or 3, yeah.
And I hit it the moment it started. Yeah. We didn't get in until 2. So, and there were people that didn't get it that day.
But the good thing about that is you don't have to wait in line.
Don't have to wait in line.
You get a alert on your phone about 30 minutes before, and you go at your scheduled time, you walk right on in.
And you don't go right into the ride, but they let you walk right into the place. And it's really interesting because you walk through the whole atmosphere of the hangar that the Millennium Falcon's at sets up the whole story. Yeah. So it's really good. I mean, it's worth every.
Yeah, they have holograms
of
things, and it's neat.
Yeah,
but
it's really cool.
We got there early and it was cold, so I had all my layers on, including my vest. But then about 9 o'clock, it starts warming up. So I take the vest off, but now I'm having to carry the vest everywhere. So I'm like, this sucks. Because Chris wouldn't carry it because he's a jerk.
And I dressed appropriately.
Yeah. But anyway, but you have a cool vest.
I didn't have on a cool vest. That's true.
I could have been in Star Wars.
You could have. I would have been like, who's got plaid in the Star Wars universe?
That's right. Even though Lucas wore plaid every day.
That's right. Marion County plaids, baby.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was walking around. I was like, I don't want to carry it. I said, I'm going to go. I said, I've got to buy something. So I'll have a bag. And I was willing to just buy something with a bag big enough that I could shove stuff in.
Lights.
So we're walking through and we found a vendor and they were selling
his favorite new bag,
backpacks. And I thought, oh, that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. I can put that in. It's a cool collectible and I can use it, whatever. And I was like, I wonder how much it is. And it was like $50. And I was like,
that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, dang it.
But it's a nice bag.
But it's a nice bag.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't think it was. I was like, oh, this is probably cheap, gonna fall apart, but I need something. So I shelled out and money meant nothing this day.
That day.
So I gave the guy my credits. He sold me this bag and I put stuff in it. But then as I got going, the first couple times I didn't know it had a magnet attachment. And the first couple of times I was undoing the buckle and buckling it back and all that.
I remember when you discovered that.
But every day since then, I have used this bag.
I know.
I take this bag to work. This is my work bag. I put drinks in here. It's got a zipper pouch where I put snacks. I keep if I'm going to a school, mask. I put in parts in there. I keep my extra mask and some stuff. So this has become my man bag backpack.
That's right.
That I wear every day, and I've used it every day for a year, and it has held up perfectly.
Yeah, there's no
so
tears.
It's good. So and I had been the cool thing about it, I had been looking for something like this.
Yeah,
and I couldn't find anything
because
I was actually going to go to an Army surplus store and find like a green
canvas bag
to use. But then we went this and found it, and plus with this you can find out which of your neighbors are also Star Wars fans as you walk by them.
That's true.
Because it depends on how they react to the bag.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's cool. And or if they don't mention it, they're not.
This one's got the squadron. It's got a red squadron, X-Wing fighter. This is like
a
a
rebel
rank
symbol.
Yeah, Black Spire outpost.
Yep.
So it's got that on there. That's cool.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a good bag. The straps are adjustable, and this has turned out to be the almost the best purchase of the day.
The sleeper purchase.
Yep. Because like I said, I have this fulfilled what I needed at work. perfectly because I didn't want to do the over the shoulder Indiana Jones bag.
Right. Yeah.
And so this was perfect.
Yep.
Absolutely perfect.
That's cool, man.
And so yeah, so that's my show and tell is my loot that I brought back from Batuu, and I like it. And if you go, I hope you find something you like.
All right. Cool deal.
Your turn.
All right.
Chris's first pick.
All right. So I actually, the funny thing is about the show and tell on my end on Batuu, when I didn't buy any, really, I don't think I bought anything when you and I went, except for
you did. You bought
the
those,
lightsaber?
No, you bought those, that 3-pack of figures.
Oh, that's right. I did buy 3-pack of figures. That's right. But I didn't buy. The interesting thing is I'd already gotten a lightsaber from there because I've always wanted it, and it actually was cool about it when I went. But the funny thing is if you go to the store, I've got this terrifying mock-up of Yoda in the store only because he's like 5 foot tall and he's skinny legs. But actually, when we were in the Den of Antiquities, she found Yoda's cane, and she walks over to me. She goes, "You have to buy this. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen." So I was like, "Really?" I mean, I wasn't going to buy it. And she goes, "No, you have to buy this." And then I'm like, "Okay." And I said, "Well, what am I going to do?" She goes, "You got to put a Yoda in the store." And I went, "Well, I don't have the costume." She goes, "Hold on, let's find one." Then she walks around, makes me get the costume. Then I said, "Well,
you will buy this thing.
I know." I said, "Well, baby, now I got to get a mask and hands." So I had to buy the mask and hands off of Amazon or something like that. But anyway, so the funny thing is, I actually ended up. I had to. I mean,
there really was no choice.
Well, now in Plaid Dot, there is a 6-foot stormtrooper and a 5-foot Yoda. You know, I mean, he will be shorter when I put him behind something to make him look like so you can't see the legs. You know, I got to work on that a little bit. Yeah. It's in progress. But you know, the funny thing is, so when we went, I did some of that stuff too. It's just an immersive experience. You'll never, you can go there 200 times and still not see the same thing.
I should have bought a Yoda cane while I was there. I'll have to get that next time because I had that life-size Yoda.
I know. And he didn't have a cane?
He has a cane, but they went cheap, and it's just a stick.
Oh, okay. So
it is literally just a stick.
Okay.
Like you would find in your backyard.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that I didn't realize that was all it was. Well, the funny thing is when, you know, Rob and I were always talking about our obsession with collection, and mine started. We've talked about this before. Mine has started in college, and so the interesting thing is when I was in college, I never forget. I'll show you this. This is the, you know, I won't forget when Kenner finally released their Star Wars line of their 12-inch.
Oh yeah,
it was. I'd never forget. I was on a chorus tour when I got this, and our chorus was on tour, and Empire had come out.
Yeah,
and I looked square at my instructor, and he said, "We're going on tour these days," and I went, and this is when Empire came back out, and I said, "Oh,
in the 90s?
Yeah, in the 90s.
Special edition.
The special edition." I went, I don't know if I can make that date. And he goes, and I'm getting a grade for this, right? He goes, "Why not?" I went, "Okay, so Empire's coming out that day."
A movie I've already seen 100 times.
Yeah,
it's coming back to the theater.
It's coming to the theater. I've never seen it in the theater. And he goes, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, I said, "Can you tell me where the hotel's going to be?" So me and a bunch of friends of mine, they wanted to go too. So they're like, "Okay," in the you know, you're music major. There are a lot of, you know, Star Wars fans in there. So if anything, they love John Williams, you know. So we get there and about 6 or 7 of us go watch Empire in the theater. But I lined that up. So we got back on the last leg of our tour, and you know, I never forget how awesome I thought this was. Yeah, and you know, the funny thing is about this, and you know, at the time we've talked about this when it came out, it's so good, so detailed. They finally had a 12-inch Boba Fett. I think they had it before, but it looked a little bit more like
from the vintage line.
Yeah, it looked a little more like the vintage. And this had, you know, more spots, more flakes, and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was a nice touch. But then again, as time went by and Kenner started making better figures, you know, one of the things that I thought, okay, are they going to get better than this, that, and the other? They finally, you know, when they came and they introduced the Django a couple years later, they still had the kind of the super Ken muscular body, but it wasn't as bulky. You know, like his legs and his arms.
Well, and this one's not terrible, except for the helmet.
The helmet's horrible.
I mean, basically, if he takes off that helmet, his head is way out of proportion.
That's right. Even have a pinhead inside that. You know, the funny thing is, I do have another one with a figure inside that helmet. Believe it or not, I'll bring it. I'll tell you. I might.
Well, I've got one. Kenner made a 25th anniversary edition or something like that. Boba Fett. There's a much better figure. It's more in line with that figure.
This one,
Than
this one.
That one.
I kind of kept this one displayed, even though this is a Django. And what I like about it is they did a really good job with the removable helmet. Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier in other episodes, I am a sucker for a removable helmet. It's a helmet. It's a helmet. I gotta have it. Yeah. So they did it's a good face sculpt actually.
Oddly, he never wears hats. I said you never wear hats, even though you like
I know,
hats.
but I love helmets. It's crazy. But you know, it's the bouffant. That's what it is. But you know, they did a really good job of Tamora Morrison's head sculpt. The paint's not nearly as good as what you'd see on a modern hot toy or something like that.
No, but this was Hasbro mass market.
That's right, Hasbro mass market.
But it was a nice figure because it came with all kind of accessories.
Yeah, tons of stuff. Yeah. You know, I chose not to display mine.
Yeah, because I think I got one, and you saw it. You weren't going to get it, and you saw mine.
That's right,
and you liked it. And you're like, I'm gonna go get that.
That's right, because in the box it didn't look as good.
Yeah,
we discovered that over and over. The box doesn't look as good sometimes as the as the figure. But yeah, it's a great figure. Now I'm thinking, okay, they're not gonna beat that. They're not the home run's not gonna get any more than that.
Where's his guns?
Oh, I took them out and put them over there. Okay. They're over there. I just took them off of him today. I had him in his hands, but
Gotcha.
But anyway, yeah. So then the next thing, then years go by, and I finally. I discovered this company called Medicom. I bought a Medicom Stormtrooper, and I told Rob about this. I was like, "Man, you got to see this. This thing looks like a picture of a human being. It's unbelievable." And it did. It looked like you took a still from Star Wars and you had a 12-inch figure in that. Yeah. And then I discovered they made a Vader. Then they made a few other things. Well, then I discovered there was this other company out there called Hot Toys. They were making these super realistic, detailed figures. And eventually, they came to release a Boba Fett. Yeah. Now, you could take a picture of this in a set. You could put it as a background piece. You would never be able to tell that this wasn't, a person in a suit. And part of the reason why is the body is way smaller. They scale it to normal human size. Yep. So the features are actually accurate. You don't have these. Boba Fett wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger. He didn't have, And
really, it wasn't until Hot Toys. It's like I said, it's that progression thing, like special effects in movies. It wasn't until you saw the Hot Toys figures that you realized that as good as the Metacom figures were, they weren't quite perfect.
Yeah, but we've talked about this. Yeah. Metacom does some things really well.
Yeah,
and then it's kind of funny. Rob and I have talked about that,
but they use Metacom. I've got a Metacom Vader,
right,
and. I just my main criticism of Metacom, and they make, and I'm not, they do make some really good figures, is that they often with their bodies tend to go too skinny.
They do.
Their bodies are too small.
Yeah, they can. They use the figure called a RAH, which is Real Action Hero, and they do. They make and that's actually, believe it or not, Hot Toys got a lot of flack for the Daredevil figure, because of how small his arms are. His arms are teeny tiny. They look like an undressed arm. They're so small. You have that one, don't you? Yeah, I've got one down there. But the weird thing is what Metacom has done. What Metacom kind of did was they launched a whole line and kind of brought to the next level. Anytime they do armor, they do a really good job of that. If you look at the Hot Toys figure and you look at the Metacom Stormtrooper, I do really like both of them, and I like different things in proportions. The helmet of the Hot Toys is definitely proportional, whereas the helmet of the Metacom, if you look at it, it looks a little bit more like the Filano helmet that was sculpted by the Italian artist Filano for Star Wars movies. There are some, but even when you watch the movie, there's variations in the helmets. I mean, in
fact, that famous promo shot from Empire Strikes Back of Vader being flanked by two stormtroopers, they each have a different helmet.
That's right.
One has, I think you call it the stunt helmet.
The stunt helmet.
One has the
hero
helmet.
The hero helmet, yeah. And for those of you who don't know, the stunt helmet was the one with the flat lenses because you could see better in them. And the hero helmet, it's going to be a close-up shot of Luke or Han or a close-up stormtrooper wearing it, usually, had the rounded lenses, so it looked a little more, a little more realistic, like it would be a lens of some sort. Yeah. Yeah, it was and I've got one. I made sure mine had the hero lenses just because I think it presents better.
Yeah.
But there is a certain cool effect to the stunt helmet too. Yeah. But anyway, so my thing was today I only brought just a small sampling. I thought it'd be really cool to look at and I'll hold these up, but to look at how how they went from that point to that point, and you can start seeing that transition. You want to hold up that Django in the middle, if you can see the transition, of how that kind of went from those three, those three different ones. It's kind of an interesting transition. Of course, these two are Kenner on the left, and this is Hot Toys, so it's a totally different thing.
And a totally different price range.
Totally different price range. So, but it's one of those things that I think that if you're a collector and you maybe want that one figure and you want something to represent it, and I definitely suggest you guys look into Hot Toys. So that's cool.
Yeah, because it is. Because like I said, you will find yourself staring longingly at them because they are. I know my Rogue One Hot Toys Vader. I look at it all the time and I'm like, I mean, they just shrunk the actor down.
Yeah, that's right.
To 12 inches.
That's
it's
right.
so authentic. It's scary.
It is ridiculously good. I've got if you go to plaidtoys.com or actually if you go to eBay, I'm still selling a couple. I think I've got a Wonder Woman that I'm about to get rid of, and I think I've got a Luke or two left. So if you guys want to check that out, and you buy that'd be kind of cool. If you guys, I'm the cheapest guy on eBay. I think I'm the cheapest guy on eBay, and I'm selling for $199, and they're new in box. So it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, kind of ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. So that's my show and tell for this week.
Show and tell. All right, that leaves the box of mystery.
The box of mystery.
It's time for the box of mystery.
We're going to shift gears completely away from Star Wars. This was my latest acquisition.
Okay.
In the old box here. And in here, he's very angry. You can look in there and see how angry he is.
Oh, he wants to get out.
Yep. Is from a company called Mezco.
Mezco makes good stuff.
I think this is my first Mezco figure. It is King Kong. Not from the new movie, but from 1933.
So that's kind of the way he looked in 33, similar to that.
This is based on the 1933 Kong, and that King Kong is one of my favorite movies. It's just, I think it's brilliant to use that word. I was looking through I forgot how I came across this. I think I was looking for something else, and I came across this.
I just realized that's in black and white.
Yep.
That's in black and white.
That was going to be my next thing. They offer two versions of this. A colorized version and a black and white version. I bought the black and white version, and it's really cool. It comes with the gauntlets you can put on him where he was being chained and broke free. You can take those on, put them off. They go on really easy. They've got the black and white Fay Ray that he's and Darrow, who he is fallen in love with and is running through the city. You can feel that.
Oh yeah, that's got some heft to it, man. That's solid.
He comes with two sets of hands, and then he's got a growling face that you can put on. And then he comes with I don't know if that's his mother, father, brother, but
was that in the movie?
Kong skull? I think maybe in the background somewhere. The whole point of King Kong was he's the last of his kind.
Okay, that's right.
And he's lonely.
And that's why
he forms an attachment to Andera.
And that is kind of doesn't that fall in line with the mythos of what's going on currently with the King Kong story, that he is the last of the great beasts?
That's a theme through all the King Kong movies.
Okay,
is that something happened and at one point he did have his family and other gorillas his size, but they died out. And it's just him now. And I don't know if as a side note, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for Kong or Godzilla vs. Kong.
It looks pretty amazing.
I can't say how it'll be, but the trailer looks good.
It looks amazing.
It looks very good, yeah. And I got HBO Max, so March 18th I'm going to watch it.
I do now too.
Yeah,
I do now
HBO
too.
Max is great.
I broke down this week.
Yeah, I think a future thing we need to talk about and review streaming services.
That would be good. Reviews the streaming services. I like it.
But like I said, I've always loved King Kong, the original. I wasn't crazy about the 1976 King Kong with Jessica Lange.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I was watching the trailer for this the other day, I went, wait a minute. I saw this as a kid, and I was like,
King Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, no, not that one. I saw the one, the Jessica Lange one.
Yeah.
And I would have seen it. I don't think I saw it again in the theater, but I may have, because, they would
Well, you would have been young.
No, but they would show movies.
76.
They would show movies again in the theater. And I think they did. Like, I think I would have been in Gainesville in 78. I think I would have seen it in the theater, 78, 79. So the funny thing is, though.
But you were like 3.
I was 4 and 5. In 78, I was 4. 79, I was 5.
Oh, Abby's FaceTiming.
Okay. So, but the thing is, you're going to have to get that, or is that something?
I don't know. You keep talking.
Let's see what she's doing.
This is Abby.
What is she doing? You can't leave your dad alone. We're shooting a video.
We're making very important stuff.
Yes.
Wants the movie to watch tonight to be Love Actually.
But that's a Christmas movie.
That sounds good to me. Christmas movie.
And I recommended 50 First Dates.
That's not a Christmas movie.
No.
Oh, we're not watching a Christmas movie. I said 50 First Dates would be good because JT wants to watch like a romantic movie. I also said Dirty Dancing, Can't Buy Me Love, The Notebook.
That's a good one.
But JT wants to watch Roger Rabbit.
That's a good movie. Don't be dissing Roger Rabbit.
I vote for Roger Rabbit.
I vote for Roger Rabbit.
That's not romantic.
Yes, it is. Have you not seen the scenes
But
in there with Jessica?
Parts of Jessica's body looks like a heart, so
That's right. Yes.
All right, gotta go. Important people on the line. Love you.
She knew we were shooting. She can't stop.
Yeah,
She can't stop.
She gotta
Can't
get.
stop.
Gotta
Okay,
get.
but let me tell you my story about the
Yes.
Jessica Lange one. So in that, I remembered as a kid thinking, wait a minute. I think that Kong looked really amazing when I was a kid. What the heck?
Mhm.
Well, it was a person in a suit. And then it was shot in a green screen, a blue screen back then. But it did actually look pretty good.
Yeah, the
That
Kong
King Kong
in
looked
there
pretty
looks pretty good.
I don't
It's
remember
just-
how the story
It's the rest of the
was.
story that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't remember the story of it, but I remember the visual of it was pretty amazing.
That 1976 King Kong, it's got the very disturbing image. There's a scene in there where she falls into the water or something, and she gets soaked.
Okay.
So Kong picks her back up, and he's like holding her like this, and she's all shivering because she's cold. So Kong proceeds to blow on her,
Okay.
and that's weird enough into itself. It's her reaction to that gets creepy, because she has a reaction that she really should not be happy
To a gorilla. To a 40-foot.
to a gorilla who has to have bad breath.
They were talking about that gorilla's breath. How tall was he in that movie?
I don't know. I think King Kong, I think, is supposed to be like 25 feet tall.
Okay, but let me ask you, in the Jessica Lange movie,
Yeah.
was he the same King Kong from? No, he wasn't from the original, because he would have, at the end of the Empire State Building, he would have died.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it was just a remake.
But this one,
But in the 1976 version, he climbs the two towers. Not the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I mean, Empire Strikes Back.
he does not. He does not climb.
He doesn't
the
climb the Empire Strikes Back
He does
building.
not. Mm-mm-mm.
They should make one of those.
Dude, I like it.
But the bottom left will be Hoth.
Yeah,
Then
I think the Empire
Cloud
Strikes.
City at top.
I think the Empire Strikes Back was actually the Afghanistan War. I
Yeah.
think that's what that
Could
was.
be.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So wait, but okay, so he climbs it, but in the Jack Black Kong,
Yeah.
I
That's
know
2005.
he dies in that one, but the new Kong is an actual sequel to the one that came out with Samuel L. Jackson that took place in overseas.
It's part of they created a kaiju verse
yeah.
that consists of 4 movies: Godzilla, the remake, 2014 remake or reboot.
Not the one with Matthew Broderick.
No, not the one Matthew Broderick.
Okay.
And then that's followed up by Kong Skull Island, which introduces a new, much bigger Kong.
And he's like,
And then you had Godzilla King of the Monsters, where Godzilla fights Ghidorah, depending on your preference of saying, and all the other monsters. And then it follows up with this.
and they say that, and I think my understanding is, as I've read it, to make King Kong the size big enough to fight Godzilla, he was an adolescent in the 70s.
In Skull Island, and he keeps growing.
Was it the 70s or 60s?
One of those, because I don't know, 60s or 70s.
Right.
They had big helicopters.
They had
So whenever they had really big helicopters.
Well, they had them in the 60s too. So.
Yeah. So, he gets much bigger because he has to be big enough to go one-on-one with Godzilla.
Yeah,
and
right.
Godzilla's like 300 feet tall.
But
so Kong had to be...
He had to be
much
big
bigger.
enough to hit him in the jaw.
So, apparently, Skull Island, which is where King Kong is from, is basically an island that has enough food and vegetation to support dinosaurs and 300-foot tall gorillas.
Clearly, and the
heal up.
oxygen level was...
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so
because they would have to eat so much food.
So I'm looking forward. I've enjoyed the tie that binds is the all the movies together as a company that is like investigating. I think it's called Monarch or something like that. That's going to that is trying to keep track of the monsters and all that. But it looks like a good storyline. I believe it's going to deliver on the Godzilla versus Kong fight.
That'd be cool. I think you'll get that.
They're both good guys. So I'm guessing they're going to fight each other,
but then they'll be playing chess.
And then there'll be a bigger threat. They have to team up to defeat
snap.
together.
Oh snap!
You know.
And
And
a good guess.
The rumor is it's going to be Mechagodzilla
I'm thinking AT-ATs.
because AT-ATs are too small. See King Kong riding an AT-AT.
The Empire State Building Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have Ray in this hand riding the.
That's right. An AT-AT.
AT-AT.
You know, I'm thinking, hey, make it happen.
So anyway, looking forward to it. Like I said, the rumor is that the big bad in Kong versus Godzilla is going to be Mechagodzilla, which is a robotic Godzilla.
God Almighty, who would make that thing?
Well, that's the thing. That's what they've been teasing up to this point.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And then
Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla ain't gonna stand for that.
No, Godzilla ain't gonna stand for that at all. And if you haven't seen it, and you like a little bit of camp every now and then, go find the 1960s, or maybe it's 50s. I don't remember. I think it's 60s. Godzilla versus King Kong, the old one.
Okay.
Where it's the guys in the suits fighting each other.
Oh yeah.
And
that's a lot of camp.
The behind the scenes story said the two actors didn't get along, and
So
they would really get to be rougher than they were supposed to be. In that
ripping
fight.
up rubber suits.
It's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie if you're in the right frame of mind.
That's right.
You know?
I think you watch a gorilla drop kick a lizard and vice versa.
Exactly.
Oh,
so anyway,
man.
so I just thought this was a really good figure. I love the fact that it came in a black and white version.
That's nice touch.
And I love the fact that it's a 1933 King Kong. And
we can't get it right today, can we?
Nope. It's my first Mezco figure, and I'm fairly impressed by what they did.
Yeah, it's nice. It definitely has that stylized 1930s look, especially in the facial features and the brow. You know, that's cool. Yeah. So all right, that's cool. Well, that's your box of mystery.
So yeah,
very nice.
So shout outs.
All right, let's see. All right, guys. Now it is time for our shout outs, and I'm going to go ahead and let Rob start this one out because I think I know what you're going to say.
Okay. Well, I'll give a first shout out to Chris for a year ago taking me to Batuu.
That's not what I
thought. I give a shout out to JT because I went to his closet to get my shirt for
Let me see it. Does it say, and your friends are dead? Oh, game over. Yeah, from the original 8-bit Friday 13th Nintendo game.
Yeah, I thought that would give me some geek cred.
Okay.
You know, right. And so because honestly, I've never played that game and such, but let's see who else. Abby and Melinda are doing good.
That's good.
Abby's back at school. JT's back at school, doing good. Because we let him take a semester off.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And his grades are really good, so that's good. He helped me out at the factory. Thank you, JT. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was messy. He helped me out.
On a sad note.
Yep. This is what I was
very sad note. Longtime family friend, Miss Lucy.
And our number one fan.
She would watch us.
GenX Vault.
Yep. Longtime fan. Can't remember a time when she wasn't there.
Right.
She sadly passed away a couple weeks ago. She'd been having some health problems, but she's one of those people that if you were around her, you weren't going to feel sad.
That's right.
She was a very happy person, and like I said, she was kind, generous, giving,
but also knew how to shoot.
Yep, carried a gun in her pocketbook at all times.
Did church.
And like I said, if she liked you, she loved you. If she didn't like you, Lord help you.
Well, I'm glad that she watched the show because I never got any death threats, so that was good.
Well, I asked my mom. I said, "When exactly did y'all meet?" And she said, first grade in 1950.
First grade in 1950.
So they had been best friends for 70 years.
Damn, that is
70 years of friendship. That is hard to fathom.
Miss Gail, you don't look a day over 62. I mean, if I had to just throw that out there. So
70 years. So and they talked every single day.
That's
and
cool.
always has something new to talk about.
That's cool. So Miss Lucy, I appreciate you so much for watching. When you said that to me, I started thinking, these things that we do, they're documentaries of just our life and what we do, stuff that we enjoy. And there are people out there that watch. And, there's these little moments in time that we have that they're able to capture. And it's kind of nice that we were to share some of that with somebody that I never got to meet, and so.
Well, and it was funny. Years ago when Melinda's grandmother died, Miss Lucy went to the funeral, and Melinda had written out memories of stuff down, so that it just wasn't the preacher up there saying, right, she was a good person, this, that, and the other. And Miss Lucy liked that so much, she came up to Melinda and she said, "That was really great what you wrote." She said, "When I die, I want you to write good things about me." And sure enough, when Miss Lucy died, she had put together a
whole
list,
collection.
and on her list was, "I want Melinda."
Oh, that is a nice thing. That's a nice thing.
Speak at my funeral.
That's right. That's right.
And such. And so Melinda did. She wrote out about 2 pages and managed to get through it. Very emotional.
Did Melinda write it in Orabesh? And
no, she didn't. Okay, make it transfer it.
I'm just saying that would have been a nice touch.
Yeah, it would have been. But you know, Melinda's quick and easy.
Quick and easy to make it. Yeah, that's right. You know,
that was her nickname in high school. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah,
just kidding.
There come the editing reel on that one. All right. Well,
now we'll find out if Melinda actually watches GenX Vault.
That's right. I'm gonna have one of those horns, in the background. That's actually, I was going to say, I'm going to do a really quick shout out. Rob and I, we've been doing this not quite a year yet. We've had a lot of fun. We're going to do a couple episodes a month. We had to slim back because, like I said, we got so busy with things. Then life.
I think we're going to shoot for 2 a month.
That's what I said. Did I say?
Yeah, a couple episodes.
A couple episodes a month. Yeah. So we're going to shoot for 2 a month, and we enjoy getting together and seeing what each other, new things and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. But also, what I was going to say is, I've had a good time making the t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to do something special right now. My cousin Troy, he's been diagnosed with cancer, and he's had to go through a lot of chemotherapy. And just to support him as much as I can, if you guys will buy a GenX Vault shirt, I'm gonna pop it up here on the screen. If you'll buy a GenX Vault shirt for $18, what I'm going to do is I will ship it to you, and 15 of those, the $3 pays for shipping. The $15, all of the shirt costs, all of my time, that goes towards Troy. I'm going to send him that. He started GoFundMe a little while back, which, my personal beliefs are we live in a rich enough country. We shouldn't have to be doing this in a country that we live in, but yet here we are. And,
I don't need a shirt. I'll put that toward it.
My man. There we go. All right. Well, that's awesome. But, I want to do that. I want to do as much as I can with good. And so if you guys are watching that and you haven't bought a Gen X shirt, or if you just want to help, I certainly would appreciate it. I'm going to send all the profits to Troy and all the money in complete action to Troy. So this is out to you, Troy. Troy was my, we started, playing toys together. And he was 4 years younger than me. And Rob and I have talked about this. We both continue to play with toys well beyond our prime.
Yeah. Well, there was a time like, when you reach a certain age, you're like hoping no one stops by.
Should I be doing this now? Is it, But we grew up in a time before the internet. We grew up in a time.
Well, and it's one of those things you shouldn't have been ashamed of it, but when you're 13 or 14, and I remember one guy I knew popped in one unexpectedly. But he didn't know me that well, so I convinced him I had a little brother.
You lied and said he had a little brother. And my little brother plays with this.
Yeah, that's my little brother's toys.
Shoot, I was riding it. Ash and I riding.
I drink beer and
that's
two guns.
I'm 14 and drinking. Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, at 14, I wasn't drinking beer at 14. I liked it, but
I don't know. I wasn't drinking beer.
Yeah, but I definitely shooting and playing guitar, and then playing, with toys too. But the funny thing is at younger age, it was a whole lot less to do back then. And the funny thing is that still to this day, I'll ride past a house with a cool dish and all this kind of stuff. Like, oh man, that'd be such a sweet place to play G.I. Joe if I could. Oh, yeah. But I'm not going to go out and hang from someone's house.
Remember those huge satellite dishes when they first came out?
Yeah, I do.
And I know this one girl I was good friends with growing up. She would sunbathe in it. She would get in the dish. Because, they were huge.
Yeah.
She would get in the dish and sunbathe.
My God. Yeah. Did her mom and dad know this? I mean...
Well, back then, it was the 80s. They didn't care.
They didn't care about the motorized, that she's waiting down the motor. Oh, my God. She's 100 and, a buck and some change, girl laying out there, and all of a sudden the motor can't turn to,
remember the old joke, to get the Playboy channel, you had
180
to
straight
put
up.
This dish straight up.
And that was true. 180. That was true. 180.
We never had a dish.
Okay, well, my cousin Troy did. The same Troy that I'm sending this money to. And so let me tell you, Troy and I went through a whole lot together. It was from Star Wars to music to, what happens when you point the satellite dish straight up?
Who knew?
We just took a left turn on this show now, didn't we? Let me tell you. Yeah. All right. But it's kind of funny. So I appreciate anything. I'm going to throw the shirt up. Again, if you do that, it'll be $18 for this show. And that goes for the tumbler too. I'm going to do the tumbler at $18 and the t-shirt at $18. So if you want to do either one of them, I'll be glad to send one your way. And
let me tell you, they're both nice, but that tumbler is perfect size. It's not like one of those huge Yeti cups. that you can't hardly hold.
Or put in a cup holder.
Yeah, but that tumbler is really nice. It's good.
It's a nice tumbler. Well, I have got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, just an annual physical, so I've got to get all the Diet Coke in I can between now and 9 o'clock. So I don't know if I'll be seeing my tumbler or not.
Yep.
But guys, we're glad to be back. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been GenX Vault. Again, I'm Chris Mitchell.
Rob Kennedy.
And we will see you guys next time on GenX.
Peace.